I can't believe this technology. I can't keep up. I just cannot keep up. I mean, how's that for a Samsung ad? All of those add-ons that you have now in your pocket, literally. Jeynes is a head writer and producer of Both Worlds Pictures. Doctor to be. Can I preempt it? Can I just call you Dr. Jeynes?
Let's wish it into being.
No, let's just manifest it right here and right now. I don't have the cap that you're going to get in a couple of months' time, hopefully. But welcome. It's good to have you.
Thank you so much. And we also joined here by my colleague, Veron.
Hello, Veron.
Hi, how are you?
I didn't know you were part of the equation.
I'm always up for a surprise.
I like it when people barge in. I just love it. Right, just tell us maybe about Both World Pictures.
Absolutely. Both Worlds, we're a production company here based in Capetalk, and we producing television, making local content, a lot of co-productions for South Africa and the world. We've just finished season 2 of Recipes for Love and Murder, which hopefully some of your listeners might have enjoyed on Mnet. And and another comedy series, The Morning After, is streaming on Prime. So yeah, we're making shows, we're making stories, we're telling people a little bit about life.
And Veron is wanting to add to that.
Hi, Veron, by the way.
Veron?
I get Vernon a lot. I don't know if I look like Vernon Fernando or not, but
I said Veron.
Veron.
No, yeah.
Okay, that's a new twist. There's a new twist. I like that.
Okay.
But I'm a young.
Got it.
I'm a young filmmaker from Durban. I'm a director, writer, producer. I have ASD. I'm on the autism spectrum.
Okay.
That's what led me to Dawn and meeting Karen as well.
Okay.
Happy to be here.
Well, that's where we are. Dawn aims to align persons with disabilities working or interested in the industry, as well as representatives from industry bodies. How open is the industry to what you're proposing?
I find people are very open. I think the reality is that there are a lot of people, I'm also autistic, there's a lot of people already working in the industry. It's just perhaps something we haven't been speaking about, foregrounding a lot. And there's a lot of people wanting to work in the industry who maybe just need a little bit more assistance, a little bit more help getting there. As you mentioned, I'm busy with my PhD, which is looking at representation, and that's a particular area for me where I feel like we need to see more people on our screens, people with disabilities living life, that just being allowed to fall in love or solve crimes or whatever it is that everyone else on TV is doing. So that's a particular focus on mine, and I think that the industry is very open and very ready. I know you were just speaking with the lovely people from Swift, and I think in the same way that they've perhaps just coalesced a lot of thinking.
Inclusivity, we need to talk that.
Absolutely.
We need to talk it forthrightly. And some people feel threatened and they kind of want to fight back, and they shouldn't feel threatened, really.
No, for sure.
But I want to talk about the spectrum, because I really believe that all 8 billion plus of us on the planet are on a mental health spectrum. But,
yes.
and some of us can be productive and functional, and some of us can't be. Is there a point when your activism cannot be of benefit to somebody?
Look, for sure, I think that's always true. I think our starting point is there are already people working in this industry, but who are maybe facing additional challenges, who are maybe it's a little bit harder for them than everybody else. How do we connect with each other? How do we make life easier for each other, first of all? And how do we just alert the industry to the fact that, guys, we are here, we are working, but some of the ways you work or some of the ways you do things are a little bit harder for us. So, we're starting with the people currently here, who for sure are open to this activism, are part of this activism, and who actively need it,
Which is great. Maybe, since you said you're on that spectrum, Veron.
Yes, sir.
Is it difficult to assimilate?
It is very difficult. I got diagnosed when I was 22, so fairly late on, and growing up, not being diagnosed
on the autism spectrum, not on the mental health spectrum. Let me just
I mean, it's within the neuro realm. Karen actually brought up an interesting point in terms of the catering.
Yeah.
So I'm a part of an autism support group for adults, led by the Autism SA, and an occupational therapist moderates the support group, and she was speaking about it. She said, the world caters for the neuro majority. People that what we call the neurotypicals,
Yes.
And we as autistic individuals are the neuro minority. Now the world caters for the neuro majority. now we left behind. That's where the challenges are faced, because there's no accommodation. And that's our biggest struggle, is also basic understanding of us. It's like when you're undiagnosed, you have to assimilate, as best as possible. And what we do is a term called masking, where we put on sort of a face and an act to present ourselves in a way that is acceptable socially. But there's so many problems that are faced with it. Like prior to me getting diagnosed, what led me to it is that I started having, beyond my psychological issues, was physiological issues. My body was breaking down because of the masking and stuff. It's overwhelming. It's a lot of energy consumption, and it's a lot of stress. You have, with stress related, you have neck and back problems. Like I have chronic neck and back problems at 25.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And people look at me like I'm 40.
And that's all the processes in the mind that causes that physical kind of manifestation.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's very troubling, but we're hoping that just by education, we can strive, because people just understanding us, the problem is it's an invisible disability.
Yeah, but there's other qualities that you bring to the table.
100%.
That people without the back problems don't have.
100%. Sir.
What are they?
So we tend to be very observational. So we can see things that people don't see. And we have very good pattern recognition. I mean, what people usually assume with us is sort of, have you watched Rain Man? So very similar to that is we can just see things that people aren't often able to see.
Yes.
Because as an autistic person, you're not invited into groups with people. So you're an observer, and through being an observer, when you participate in things, you aren't able to see things from an exterior perspective, and that's what we can bring naturally, you know. And we're also known to be very sincere people, which is also good, well-intentioned people, and we're very blunt, which is very important nowadays. I mean, people like to be very superficial, and that doesn't get things done.
I'm thinking of Tim Walter's son, the vice president-elect, and the
Absolutely.
nonverbal on the spectrum as well, and that violent display of love. It was so emotionally powerful. I'm thinking of that.
Yes, sir.
We contain ourselves in respect of emotions, and maybe we need more of that
Yes, sir.
in film and TV.
You know, it's like
Violent displays of love. Is there such a thing?
Absolutely, a purity of emotion, and I think that, as you're talking about accommodations and we're talking about ways in which it's difficult for us, I think some of those things are so easy, they're so simple, but you just need to point them out to people. In the same way that it's an invisible disability, a lot of the accommodations are sometimes fairly invisible things. What really helps is giving us much clearer where's the floor plans, who exactly is going to be there, knowing exactly what we're walking into. Even environments like this one that we're in, as you know, it's very noisy, it's very busy, it's very stimulating sensory factors. So even this aspect of our industry, which is so important to be networking, that's very difficult and challenging for people on the autism spectrum. And
we have to wrap it there. Karen
Yes.
head writer and producer, Post Walls Pictures, launching the Disabled Audiovisual Workers Network, Dawn, at MIP Africa. There's wonderful stuff happening, and inclusivity, I think, is the buzzword, and that's great. It means more perspective, more feelings, and that's good for the industry.